What up, guys? Evan here from the Wheel Brew and the Wheel Brew Bottle Shop. Super jacked up to kickstart our Advent calendar season with the Hoppy Holidays box. The goal for the box, and I'm super excited, was to make sure that we had fresh beers, new releases, some of which in the box haven't actually been released to the public yet, and an eclectic variation of styles, beer types, as well as breweries in different regions. We tried to include all of the big guys and girls from across the province, and we're super excited to share that. And I just want to start with a super big thank you to you guys. We're closing year one of operations here at the shop, and for those of you that have been, you'll know it's a super small space with a super small team, but a very big community. And it's beer drinkers like you guys who just mean the world to us, and you really support us and come out in droves, and we're really pumped to have the privilege of having you guys and being a part of this community. And thank you so much for the support of this box. It was super fun to put together a big challenge, and I was constantly thinking of all of you. So without further ado, rip open date one, no sneak peeks at the rest, and we'll get started. Because the fun part of this box that's unusual from typical Advent boxes is with each day, you're going to get an email with a QR code. And that QR code is going to link to a video. And that video is going to feature some of the bright minds, faces, and individuals and professionals from the craft beer industry from each brewery that are going to guide you through the beer, which is super fun. You're going to see some low production videos, some high production videos, and in the cases where the breweries are super busy, I'm going to jump in and join in for the ride with you guys. So I hope you enjoy, and any questions, please feel free to DM us on Instagram, email us, and for the most part, just keep these bad boys cold, and you're going to have a lot of fun going along this journey with us. And so without further ado, let's dive in to beer one from our good friends at Bellwoods Brewery. So Lost River is a new release Baltic Porter, but before I dive into this, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Bellwoods. Most of you might be familiar, some of you might be kind of familiar, and then there's those that won't know it at all, and that's part of the fun. So Bellwoods started in April 2012. They opened their doors. It was a smaller brewery on Ossington with a kind of pub atmosphere. And what they realized very quickly, being in Toronto and being fairly early on with the craft beer hype, they got swamped, and production found it really hard to keep up. The brewers were working around the clock, and after a third season of saving the pennies and just being absolutely swamped and trying to keep up, they opened another production facility in North York, which hasn't fully hindered the amount of demand that their growing brand needs, but it does mean they can keep 60 people plus employed, which is super awesome. And also they can have those LCBO core beers that they have, but keep pumping out those special releases. They just dropped one this week with Superflux, which is super fun. And it allows them to release things like Lost River, which is a Baltic Porter, with Baltic being an interesting term here, because usually porters are renowned for being lower in ABV, while still having those subtle predecessor notes to a stout, but maybe a bit lighter. The Baltic Porter comes in at 8%, and the journey to get it to 8% does stem from lagering versus it being an ale. So that's super cool, and you'll note as you pour it right now that it's still gonna have that really dark look to it, while it still will have that roasted aroma coming out of the can. And so just I'm looking down at my notes here because Gord's provided a lot from over at the brewery, but as you're pouring it and as you sip into it, just at the first part of things, you're gonna get those malty flavors, a velvety body, which I always love about a really good porter, and it really just means that it is going to be closely predicated to a stout, while just being off of that as a porter. And you're also going to get subtle notes of chocolate, which is nice, and I think in a higher ABV porter that adds to a balance. You're getting those dark chocolate notes, And it's kind of perfect for a chilly evening, which I've been shoveling the walkway today in front of the shop. It's going to be a chilly evening. So this is a good one. Whatever time you're sitting down today with it, it's going to be awesome. So in terms of what Lost River as you pour it smells like, and then looks like and tastes like, again, it's very highly predicated on a stout, and while being slightly lower than some of Bellwood's Imperial stouts, it still comes with a kick at 8%, so be careful of this one. You are going to get those chocolate notes, as I mentioned, a lot of roasted notes and flavoring to this guy, and I hope you guys can pick that out too. As always, everyone's gonna have a different palate, so you might not be able to pick up on everything. And again, while those chocolate notes are there, there's also, I've been told by the brewers, subtle notes of dark fruit, which is super interesting because it's not something that always comes through to everyone. And I'm gonna have to try this guy again because the first time I don't believe I picked it up, but I might not have been consciously looking at that. So as you're pouring this guy, just kind of think about what you're drinking. Have fun with it. See if you can pick out those flavors, those roasted malt notes, the subtle chocolate notes, and the super subtle dark fruit notes. And please post this on your social media feeds. Tag the brewery. Tag at Craft Bottle Shop on Instagram, and also on Facebook at the Wheel Brew Bottle Shop. Show your support for Small Batch Ontario Brews, and we're going to select one winner from every 6 days of the Advent calendar, and we're going to be giving away some fun stuff like apparel, beer here, and some different stuff. So it's going to be fun. So I hope you guys enjoy, and we'll see you for day 2. Take it easy. And I won't say anything if you sneak in one or two from your personal collection, not from the box.